Welcome.
Get some protein shakes.
Donnie, I hit the mic. How's it going? Welcome to Nerd Underground TV, another Nerd Underground podcast, where we talk about everything trending in the nerd world.
Everything.
Well, not everything, but the important shit to us.
Oh, yes.
What interests us, and then we deliver it to you.
8 hours of Overwatch bots only.
That's Joe.
Okay.
Anyways, welcome to podcast number 9. Wait, 10.
Yeah.
I don't know my numbers. This is number 10.
I guess so.
I believe so.
Yeah, too damn long.
So we hit that double digits. Holy crap. And if you are actually checking out this podcast on our audio-only deliveries like Podbean and all that, there is a video version on YouTube, Nerd Underground TV. And go check it out. And we're not going to use any visual references or anything like the last 2 episodes of podcast. But you definitely get to see Jonathan and myself. Speaking of ourselves, hi, I'm David Foruria, your host, MC, the dude wearing nothing but Batman right now. I just realized that.
Yeah, no. I wanted to call it out, but I was just like, nah, he knows what he's doing. He did this on purpose.
No, partially. And then I'm joined by the pun master himself, JonKuh.
JonKuh, what's up, Kuh?
You don't have anything like Moose? You're like, Moose!
Nope, I just say, what's up, Kuh?
What's up, Kuh?
What's up, Kuh?
JonKuh?
What's up, Kuh?
Hello, JonKuh. And once again, welcome to the Underground Podcast. I just got to admit, this entire podcast is going to be dedicated to Ready Player One. Hit theaters this week. We just stepped out of the theater, technically. I mean, like an hour ago, roughly.
It's recently.
Very recently. We went and saw it, and we're going to immediately talk about it. And we'll say right now, at the first bit of this podcast, we'll do a spoiler-free review.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Our overall impressions and what we liked, and we won't dive into spoilers or anything. But if you have seen the film, you'll see, we will dive into some spoilers. Yeah. And when we get to that point, we're going to put these on. Once again, for audio, I apologize. For video, you can see that we have these Real D 3D glasses that I totally did not put in the recycle bin like I'm supposed to. I just took them home.
Yeah.
By the way, we didn't see it in 3D. We saw it normal 2D.
Yeah.
I've had these forever. And that's how you're going to know in the video version of this podcast we're talking spoilers. So when we're done with our spoiler-free, we're going to chuck these on our face and go to town. Let's just dive right into it now, JonKuh. Ready Player One. We both read the book.
Yes, I did.
Well, listen to the book.
Yeah,
Audible.
we know the book.
We know the book.
We know the book.
We loved it. He heard me talking about it like crazy.
Yeah.
Got him to finally take a listen, and he loved it too. Great, great, great book.
Yeah.
Ernest Cline, he really does know pop culture.
Oh, yeah. No, he really did know all of his pop culture there.
It was great. I wonder how much hand he had in the dialogue, because I will say, the film-wise, had great dialogue. It had great lines that it just, that one extra little sprinkling of seasonings of that culture, gaming culture especially. So like one character calls out, I was like, man, that's such a camper's move, stuff like that. And we're the only ones in the theater laughing.
Yeah, well, it was kind of funny, yeah.
So, all right, it speaks to us, not only nerdy, but gamer as well. Most gamers kind of contribute to our version of nerd. So, the film, based off of the book. How did you feel? Like, coming into it, knowing the book so well, what did you get out of the movie? Let's go with that.
Oh, okay. Well, clearly I feel like we were the only ones in the theater that knew the book because we were laughing harder than everyone else. No, I was just like, I knew the book. I've gone over it a few times, and no, it didn't prepare me for the movie, really. You know, because it wasn't the same. It wasn't word per word.
But was it too different that you loved the book so much that it would upset you?
Well, that's what I was trying to say. Like, no, I really, like, it wasn't like anything from the book there, so I was just like, all right. It's not one of those, like, oh, I know what's going to happen next. No, it was one of those, like, the concept was still the same, but all in all, it did its own thing, and it did it, in my opinion, it did it right. It did a really good story.
I will agree with that, actually, because when it comes to these book to film adaptations, everybody will be like, oh, the book is better. Oh my gosh, it's so overused. Or they'll bitch about smaller facts and all that. and never talk about the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. When a book-to-film adaptation royally screws it up, like Aragon.
Oh, yeah. That one's pretty bad. I didn't even read the book.
I didn't even pay for my ticket. I turned to those who paid for it. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I will pay you.
I dragged you guys here.
They dragged me, actually.
Oh, okay.
No. Okay, so coming into this, I said in the previous podcast, I'm not going to be the nitpicky kind of guy when it comes to differences. I understand that it's a different medium, so you can't be word for word, page for page kind of thing. Probably the closest to that would be like the first season of Game of Thrones. Honestly, if you go like every 70 pages or something like that, it almost is
lined up,
cropped off. It's like almost cut out exactly like that, almost. And it worked, but then they had to start making their changes, like in book form.
Yeah, they got cut up.
Well, no. Even before that, season 2, they had to change names. Like that wildling girl, they had to change her name because in the book it's very clear the spelling is totally different, so you could tell it's a totally different character, but the pronunciation are very similar to Theon's sister.
Oh yeah.
The wildling girl and Theon's sister. Yeah, I'm being very vague. I don't know why I can't remember the name for the life of me right now. Oh yeah. They had to change the name because they do sound the same. Even though it's very clear as day on page, they're different. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I understand these kind of changes. So, in my mind, I already knew that this book has a lot of intellectual properties in it. A lot. And the fact that one major studio is grabbing it already tells me that about half of what we heard in the book will be able to make it.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. And the fact that it was Warner Brothers and Spielberg tagging along, I knew that they had a pretty big net, but they're not going to hit the colossal titans of like Star Wars and Marvel and stuff like that, because Disney is their rival.
Yeah, and their own. Mm-hmm. We get it. It's going to happen.
Yeah. So that I knew. Yeah. I'm not going to be the guy who's bitching. Oh, but in the book, he had a giant Spider-Man robot and stuff like that.
He had an X-Wing as his own ship.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I'm not going to be like that. I can understand the premise of Ready Player One. The super colossal virtual reality game that is basically replaced all of online interactivity. Like, they don't browse on the computer like we do nowadays. When someone says, "Oh, last night I was online. I was shopping online last night," they're actually in like a virtual mall shopping.
Yeah.
There ain't no keyboard and screens no more. The Oasis replaced the internet. It is the internet, and that was very clear in the book, and it was clear in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was worried about one thing. In the book, it is very clear that they sit down all the time, and you can do it from anywhere.
Yeah.
So when I was seeing the trailers that everybody has to move in some form or another, it made me nervous because I felt like that limited it. Yeah, it looks cool for certain situations. Like in the trailer, you see the neighbor who's pole dancing.
Yeah.
But then what if she wanted to go for a jog later? She's just going to slam right into that pole? Shit like that.
Yeah. But like in another trailer, it was like a whole bunch of kids running down the street, and then you saw them, what they were actually doing in the game, which was they were all the Spartans. So, you know, they're all, Halo characters.
Going to battle.
And, I'm just like, well, what if a car comes,
Or a wall.
or a wall. Or like, a stick that you can't, you don't see and you just trip.
So that's a gripe I have, but that's not book related per se. That's just logical. However, that approach to it did have its advantages for certain plot points, I will say. So, going into the movie and hearing what I had to say about that, it's like a bittersweet kind of thing. In certain situations, you're like, that just don't make no damn sense. And in a lot of other situations, it helped with the story or what the action or something that's going on.
It really was its own key character almost. It was like its own unique thing, where the game itself was something you're not in, but you're around. It's kind of difficult to explain. Yeah,
it's full immersion VR, but the only times I felt that it was the very realistic take on that is the omnidirectional treadmill, which is a real thing, by the way, JonKuh. Yeah. There's videos that it looks the exact same way with the suspension and all that.
Yeah, and it's like a
little curved
dip kind of thing, and you got shoes that are rounded.
And it's like rolling balls. Yeah, like
I've
conveyor belt
seen those
stuff.
Before, and I'm just like, it's only a matter of time until we're gonna get stuff.
Well,
I'm hoping
gaming is not gonna go entirely like that. VR is not gonna replace gaming as we know it. I'm just gonna say that. But anyways, kind of backtracking to what I was kind of leading up to. The challenges in the book, the premise of this story is the creator of this massive multiplayer online game, the Oasis. When he dies, he leaves a treasure hunt in a way, Easter egg hunt. He says whoever finds my 3 keys in the Easter egg will earn the right to own the Oasis and have $500 billion or $500 million or something like that.
Yeah, I think in the movie he said $500 billion, but
in the book it was like $500 million or something.
Yeah, in the book I think it was like 22 billion or something.
It don't matter. You just need to get the point across. A lot of money. And ownership.
Bank.
So enough for people to hunt for this egg, and they become egg hunters. Gunters is what they call themselves.
I thought it was a German word. I'm just kidding.
Jaeger.
Jaegers.
Actually, that would have been cool to see in their Pacific Rim. But anyways, the challenges I knew, because what's in the book would be hard to pull off in film-wise. This is a different medium altogether. So I'm like, okay, they're going to change the challenges. These keys are going to pop up in different ways than they do in the book. And I want to crush that right now for anybody who's going to bitch. They're like, but I wanted war games.
No.
They don't have the rights to war games. You know, what the film was Howard the Duck. Yeah. Marvel ain't going to give that over to Warner Brothers so they can make this movie. Well, we got Spielberg. The Spielberg. Why are you saying no to Spielberg? And they're like, we're saying to you, fucker. Mm-hmm. Talking to the Warner Brothers representative. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We got to live in a realistic world. Mm-hmm. Maybe someday in the future when we're all living in a better utopia, this movie could be remade and it could be done very, very exact to the book. I'm going to say, as a lover of the book and just seeing the film and a lover of film, I understand why certain liberties were taken, is what they will probably call it. But the fact that the writer was actually in on it, Ernest Cline.
Yeah. Ernest Cline.
Yeah, okay. Whew!
Yeah.
I thought I had a weird moment where I was like, wait, or is it Cline Ernest?
It's Cline.
Had a part in it. The reason I brought up Aragon is because the screenplay was actually written by the author.
Yeah.
Chris wrote that screenplay. He butchered his own shit. But Ernest understood this difference in medium. And so they worked out basically the same story, just more cinematic.
Yeah.
You know, the rule about cinema is show, don't tell. Telling monologues, big-ass dialogue scenes, that's theater. And of course, if you wanted raw detail, there we go, that's what I want to say, that's book. Mm-hmm. Each of them have their own advantages. Cinema have the better compression because it's all show, very little tell.
Unless it's one of those like black and white noir films. It's like a police detective smoking a cigarette. He's like
looking out the blinds.
Look out the blinds. Look at this city. It's gone to trash in the past 20 years. I turn back and I see a tall blonde.
she walks into it. Those eyes.
Those eyes.
They trap my soul. Stuff like that.
She says hello, and then it's actually her. Hello.
We should make a parody.
We probably should.
That'd be hilarious. So I understood that, and as a fan of both, I cannot bitch. I understood why they had to make the changes. Mm-hmm. The changes they made, I think, were really cool.
Yeah, no, I like it.
It was like a fresh take on them in a way, but still staying true to the spirit of the book. So off of the trailers, not spoiling it, is a giant race. That race is a lot to look at. Has a lot of references.
Oh yeah.
It's so chock full, and it lives true to what the book did in scale of how much intellectual properties are mentioned. Well, in this case, how many they showed us. Holy crap, you got everything from Chocobos to Tracer from Overwatch, Halo Spartans, Godzillas, and...
Alright, pick anything from your childhood, it was probably there.
Some way or form, something like that.
Pick anything, a book, game, a movie, an iconic character. No, they're there. More than likely.
Yeah, somewhere in the background, because there was too much to look at.
Yeah, that's actually one of those things. Like, I know there's always like a movie or a book that, a show that has extra stuff in the background, and some people are like, oh, I just look at the background. No, this is one of those movies where it has stuff in the background,
and it's rewatchability in that sense, in a way.
Yeah, and like today we're just gonna look at everything in the background on the left side, and tomorrow we'll do it on the right side. It's one of those.
Damn, we probably will end up doing that with this film because they threw so much in there. Okay, I guess the second gripe I can have at it is it's dark for a lot of these massive canvas of different intellectual properties. These mosaics of you want to see how much you could spot. All the situations where it's just a sea of characters and references are dark. That's a cop-out way. That's a DCEU cop-out to special effects. Whereas Marvel, it's nice and bright and everything.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest reasons. Wonder Woman, phenomenal until that final fight. And everybody's like, that final fight's a lot like Zack Snyder right there. That's very, ugh.
Kind of darkish.
And dark, that's a very cop-out, cheap way for special effects. And, yeah, I understand that the majority of this film is like an animated movie. You know, they basically went Avatar on us. They had the real actors, but they basically had to reskin them.
Yeah.
Which works. I mean, Artemis has some big old anime eyes in a way.
Very much indeed.
Buggy,
I was just like, oh wow, huge
anime eyes. I mean, it worked great.
Huge eyes.
And yet you can still tell it's close to the real actress.
Yeah.
I mean, Parsifal, not really.
No.
But that actually stays true to the book, because in the book, Parsifal, from his perspective, he's like, or Wade, I should say, not Parsifal. He's always like, yeah, I'm a little overweight. I don't find myself attractive. In the book, he even goes as far as like, I got acne. It's bad.
Yeah,
it's nasty.
He's like, I'm a generic teenager. Puberty hit me like a sack of bricks and then some.
Yeah, and of course, me listening to this, I'm like, that's me. I relate. In general, the translation, I'm not mad about. I'm actually not mad. Actually, there's some key parts in the plot and the story that even are very, very detailed kind of things. They had it in, like a shield generator that honestly I didn't think was going to come into the film, and it did. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, yeah. And they added a couple of new elements, which we'll get into spoiler talk. Let's hit some more spoiler-free stuff before we switch over to spoiler talk. Other than it being pretty dark, what do you think of all the special effects? Any of it stand out to you?
Honestly, like, I'm gonna say no, pretty much because I felt like the special effects and all that were done right to the point to where it blended in perfectly. I didn't need to like stare at this like explosion and be like, that looks really cheesy and fake. No, like the special effect. Well, it was mostly all special effects essentially, and nothing like stood out of the ordinary. You know, unlike some really bad movies where you just like look at, you know, a car getting smashed and you're like, wow, that looks really, really fake.
Or like animated character that's like totally stands out.
Oh yeah, like those where you're just like, God, no, this one actually, like, I was like, wow, this is blended in perfectly.
What I think it has a big advantage is even if it was like crappy CG that is like video game looking CG, guess what the setting is? Video game.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of it safety netted itself in a way.
Yeah, and
from subpar animations and stuff.
Yeah, in a weird sense. Yeah, but like honestly, like I don't feel like it had a safety net, but I don't feel like it really used it.
They did go all out. I will say they went all out. That Gundam I thought was gonna be blocky in a way like it's not gonna be limber like in the anime. Oh no, that Gundam was great.
Yeah.
Like I was happy to see that Gundam fight. I wish it went a little longer.
Yeah.
But that was probably a lot of money into that fight.
Oh my god.
It's pretty cool. Now, the special effects and the action sequences and everything, like the race and the battle royale, is what online people call it. It's pretty cool. They went all out. Me ignoring that comment about copping out in darkness and all that. But holy crap, I cannot say enough that the rewatchability is to see what else you can spot. There's so much. It's eye candy, and not in the sexual term.
Actually, yeah, it didn't go as far as that, because like in the book, yeah, he did mention a few times. He was like, oh yeah, really hot or good looking girls or stuff like that. But this one, it kind of like it stayed away from that. It did. Yeah, it didn't do like the ridiculous over the top like close up on Harley Quinn or anything. No, it was just like, you recognize the character, move on.
And it was the Arkham Harley Quinn. I could really appreciate that even more. Margot Robbie, I love her, but I don't like her Harley. That's a very unpopular opinion of mine. Everybody's obsessed with her Harley from Suicide Squad. And she's like, oh, she's the only good part, her and Will Smith. And I was like, yeah, but it's not the Harley I wanted. It's not. Then again, I sound like everybody I complain about. Let me kind of course correct a little more. Harley Quinn wasn't, one, as badass as I know her from the comics and the games. and of course the show, because she kind of terrified me in the old animated series a little bit. 2, I don't need a sexualized Harley Quinn. I just want Harley Quinn. But they went the whole, well, we're putting a girl on this camera, might as well make her sexy.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn is sexy as is. You know, if you're attracted to Harley Quinn before Suicide Squad, there's a reason. Because, well, the character's like, holy crap, yeah. They didn't need to sexualize Harley Quinn. I rest my case now on that. Suicide Squad doesn't deserve any more of my time.
All right.
I think the performances were great. Some of the stuff that happened, mature jokes I didn't expect to happen. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
There was a few mature-ish jokes. It doesn't go too far because it is Spielberg after all. Mm-hmm. But I'm surprised of some of the stuff that he did do. I was just like, huh. I got a question for you now. And it dawned on me, like, as the credits were rolling. Did this feel like a Steven Spielberg film to you?
Actually, it didn't.
Like, no, it did not.
It did not. Like, yeah, granted, like, the ending, it did have, like, the music going on.
Yeah.
You know, a very nice family, feeling. Like, hey,
happy ending.
Happy ending, yeah. Happy ending. It was a very, PG-13 or, PG even feeling. Like, oh, wow, family values and, you learn stuff and...
Kind of.
Positive. No, the ending did. The whole movie, I forgot Spielberg was even... I was just like, there's a lot of elements of Spielberg in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's the director. But then you kind of forget about it again and sink into the film that's playing in front of your eyeballs, and you're just like...
You're just watching the whole TV, and you're just like, wow.
Any part of it that the pace or... how to word this? Did you ever feel confused? Like, did the sequences ever happen to where you had a moment where you're like, whoa, I wish I could rewind because I'm confused? I didn't have that.
I did not.
So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I'm feeling like it might be a little faster-paced. More faster than what people are used to.
Especially us from the book, because there's months that go on in the book. This feels like a week.
Yeah, like, there was, gaps in, like, in the book, obviously. Yeah, like, hey, from here to, like, 3 months later, then they actually start doing this. Or, 6 months later, they start doing that.
Yeah.
No, in this whole... movie, it was like, it honestly felt like everything happened overnight. So
really quick.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe 3-4 days tops.
Basically.
Which then brings up the thing that I always say about the movie, The Proposal. I will right out the gate say that I hate that movie. I despise it. It's funny. I will give it that. It is funny. It's well casted. It's just the whole premise of it works until they really do somehow fall in love over a weekend. I never felt that. Like, a lot of people talk about chemistry between actors and their characters, and they're like, I just didn't feel the chemistry. I didn't see the chemistry. The Proposal, I can truly say I don't see it. I don't feel it in the scenarios that they have. Oh, they bumped into each other butt naked. Oh, that means they're gonna fall in love. The Proposal, I didn't like it. I didn't feel like it really was a love story by the end of it. It's just like, yeah, they're going to be happily ever after in some shape or form or anything. And even with the idea of like, well, the ending of that movie is just like, they're not truly in love, but they opened the door to find out, and actually ventured down that road is some of the argument. I don't even think The Proposal led up to that entry point, I'm saying. That being said, there is another film directed by Chris Evans himself, Before We Leave, or Before We Go.
Mm-hmm.
That's on Netflix, or I don't know if it is anymore, where they kind of fall in love overnight. But the sheer amount of shit they get done in that night, and then the conversations they have, the relatability, even though that her character is married and all that, they don't actually kind of run off together and be in love and all that. No, it's just, they do have that connection, and they acknowledge their relation they made, their connection. That, I feel, is more true than The Proposal. And with this film, Ready Player One, he falls in love with her. It feels right from his end because he's a fanboy first and foremost of her.
Mm-hmm.
And you could drop you could fall real quick coming from that level because you've already idolized in some way or form this other person. But from her end, I don't feel it entirely.
Yeah.
But when they saw each other in real life, some of the conversations and some of the moments they had together did help that along, but not as strong as I feel like it could have been if they had that advantage of giving it some more passage of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in the book, he actually does talk about they basically become best friends. They talk to each other every day. They talk about anything and everything, share secrets and stuff. If they had a little more of that, I would have been really, really happy. And I would have said this movie knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. This is still a home run, in my opinion, but, you know, there is some tweaking that it would have helped how I felt about it. I don't know if you feel similar.
No, I mean, like, honestly, yeah, what you were saying is when I watched the movie, I felt it too. I was just like, no, he even name dropped it. He was like, no, I'm a huge fan of hers. I recognize her anywhere.
Which he does in the book.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, she did kind of like, you know, was like, nah, you're just falling in love too quick. You don't know me.
Which was a similar kind of breakup thing that they had in the book. This whole, like, no, you're in love with what I want to show you. All right? You're not going to like the real me. I feel like in the book that build-up was a lot better. Yeah. Especially the sense that it's kind of like the end game in a way. Mm-hmm. He finally gets to meet her at the end of the book. The movie, for cinematic reasons and for action and all that, they meet a lot sooner. Sorry. Oh, that's a little bit of a spoiler. Oh, boy. Well, from the trailer, you can kind of get that impression already. And it kind of goes about the whole Hunger Games kind of rebellion kind of stuff. She's like, welcome to the resistance in the trailer. That's different from the book, for sure. But it works for this film. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The way they went about it. The stuff that they cropped out, I'm not too picky about. Oh, he started in Oklahoma City, technically. Then he goes to Columbus, Ohio. The fact that he was in Columbus, Ohio the whole time, I couldn't gripe too much about. Especially when it came in full circle by the end of the film. Made sense. You're like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. That's a very textbook plant and payoff in screenwriting. So, and it was the setting and not some kind of object or mulligan or something like that. So it was really cool. I'm talking too much. Go ahead. If you have anything else that's spoiler-free, let me know.
Actually, I'm not very good at keeping my spoiler-free secrets.
You want to talk spoilers, huh?
So, yeah, I'm over here just like...
I tried to go as long as possible for those who haven't seen the movie.
And I don't really watch trailers, so...
I forced him to.
Yeah, if you watch the last podcast, I was forced to watch a trailer.
2 trailers.
Yeah, and I think the podcast before that, no, it was just both trailers, yeah. No, I don't watch trailers, so I can't tell you from what you recognize. No,
I'm sorry, I spoil your life. But now he's about to spoil yours if you haven't seen the film. As promised, we're going to throw the shades on, but we're not actually going to throw some shade.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
But,
yes.
Unless
you dislike the video, and then we will throw some shade.
We will talk a little more about some random stuff it's at the end of this podcast, so if you don't see the shades on anymore, you know it's free. Spoiler free. You know, we're not ruining shit anymore. And for those audio listeners, if you haven't seen the film already, I'm very, very sorry. Honestly, for both mediums, video and audio, pause it now if you don't want to know. Come back after you see the film. Please go see the film. Right off the bat, I will say, very much worth watching. I was very happy to see it.
Oh, yeah.
It's an adventure for sure.
Yeah.
And that is a reference from the film.
Yeah.
So because of that, the shades go on.
Men in Black style.
I wish we had a deneuralizer. Oh, that'd be great. Spoilers are going, the shades are on, so let's talk about it. Jonathan, you were super excited and biting your tongue about something. I want to know what it was. Hit me.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
you're right. That was. Oh my god.
I know, right? I mean, no. And yeah, I was gonna say like spoilers. I guess.
Spoilers are up. Spoiler glasses are on.
Yeah, spoilers up.
We need like actual like fins. Put it on like our shoulders.
Oh,
the spoilers are on.
Nice.
Go for it. Go.
Well, okay. Well, I know I was saying I don't watch the trailers, but from the one trailer I did watch. There was a moment where where the girl was talking to, main character, Parzival, and he was like, she just like, welcome to the rebellion. I don't remember a rebellion in the whole, movie or the book.
In the book, no. Like I said just a moment ago, yeah, there was no rebellion.
And I was curious. I was like, man, they have a rebellion going on. All right, I like the whole rebel story.
You do.
I
do too.
Yeah, watching the movie, where I know they had an underground, like a little base. Little hideout,
It was like an industrial building in downtown
very
Columbus.
Like kind of like the movie Divergent, where they had like
I love it.
They had a community going. They had
Hey.
Oh, cat's tearing down a poster.
By the way, I have a cat in the room. She's my
new cat.
My roommate. Yeah, she's the newest member of our family. Come here, Whisper. They can probably see her.
Mm-hmm.
Look, cat. Video.
Sulky cat.
She was tearing down one of my
some posters over here.
Sorry. I would let her at, but her so far with the other cat, one particular is just not getting along. I'm sorry. Anyways, continue.
Oh yeah. Pretty much like like I was saying, the rebellion. Like, what rebellion were they doing? I know they had like a whole garden facility going on, and they were doing their own thing, but like, what was their purpose? All they did was get caught.
Okay.
Like, at night, like it was barely one full day
from one dude.
One dude
ruined it,
and they got busted. And like, what were they trying to accomplish?
So what you were wishing was, we learned a little more of what the other people in this hideout, what they were trying to accomplish. Because we do learn what Samantha, Artemis, what her motive is for this whole pursuing the Easter egg. You know, she actually wants to bring
balance in the Force.
Balance to the world.
Oh.
Which they didn't actually put any emphasis. There we go. Onto what the state of the world is.
No.
In the book, you do know that the reason for the stacks, which is these trailer parks that are going vertical, is because everybody had to flee to the cities because resources are going bye-bye.
They're very slim.
And it's becoming the wildlands out there, between cities. He had to take a Greyhound, and that Greyhound was armored, had guns.
Had
guards.
Armored guards with guns.
Yeah. And an automated driver and stuff like that, and just like...
And like, well, like in the book, like it was all that from Oklahoma City to like Columbus. He said it was like a few days of a bus ride.
Yeah.
Because it was that shit. The roads were bad. Marauders were everywhere. And, they're just like, oh, we've got a solar-powered bus.
I can understand why. Yeah. One reason they didn't bring that in, because that's kind of like a genre blending in a bad way or colliding. Because that kind of gives you a sense of post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, which...
Mad Max-ish.
Very much Mad Max.
And that might take away from it. I understand why he wasn't brought in. But if we did learn a little more of the state of the world, not actually seeing it, but at least hearing about it a little bit.
And even in the book, like, starting off, he was like, hey...
the human condition.
Yeah, he actually talked about, like, I learned at a very young age that humanity sucks. The world is shit, people.
We can't have anything nice.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
He basically, like, just like, rip that Band-Aid off real quick when we were young.
I like that too.
Yeah.
That's what spoke to me the most about the book.
Yeah, like it really made it feel like, hey, this world, this virtual reality is everything. And the beginning of the movie, it did talk, it did show like a businessman getting like his avatar killed, and he did mention like, oh, well, in the game,
losing your shit, you really lose your shit.
Yeah, and you lose everything. And well, hey, there was a businessman in like a high-rise tower, and he died in the game, and he was ready to jump out the window.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that was just a little glimpse of it. No, it's your life in that game.
Some characters are like, don't kill me, I got like 10 years worth of shit on me, which is IROC. Let's talk about IROC.
Oh, boy.
Totally different from the book,
yeah.
We have to point out. But because of this translation of this story to this medium, the film, they actually did the character pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, the character not only had a purpose, or a stronger purpose, I should say, than what he had in the book, but he was cooler, too. That gun he has, man, that's so cool.
Man, his well, I wouldn't say his armor, but that's his body, man.
Yeah.
Like,
it's his avatar.
It's a skull? Like,
it was spit shit out of the eyeball version
of
his
so
skull.
Cool.
It was pretty dope, and I don't think IROC deserves to be that dope.
No.
Voiced by T.J. Miller, of all people.
Yeah.
He did do good. There was some good banter. He keeps bringing up this thing in his neck. He's like, how is everything going? And the dude's asking him about how the plot is going. And IROC is like, well, I got like carpal tunnel in my neck. I don't know what that's called, but apparently that's a thing. I think I should get checked. And they're like, no. What we discussed. Oh, yeah. That's very, very human. Yeah. It's a layer. It's a pretty good layer of characterization. Parzival. Let's get to the characters. Actually, I think him and H were pretty damn good translations from the book.
Yeah.
Like H, we didn't get as much as what we learned about. And I think the biggest reason of that is because in the book, Parzival and H actually have a kind of falling out with each other. Mm-hmm. We never had enough time for that to happen.
Nah. Well, because, again...
It's all compressed.
Well, in the book, like, you learn that H and Parzival are, like, best friends. They're inseparable. They're bros. And,
Play games,
and then whenever
secrets.
This Artemis chick comes in, that starts kind of wedging in between the friendship. Because, Parzival's got to, like, pick, am I going to hang out with my buddy, my best friend, or am I going to try to hang out with my new girl, my love interest?
Yeah.
And any guy out there is going to be like, chick, please. And, yeah.
Yep. No bros before host kind of thing.
Yeah, and
even in the book, sometimes I thought she was interested in H.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like it's like, oh, is H coming? No. Why? Why would H be coming? That's very typical, like lining up as like a love triangle kind of bullshit. Yeah. But it never did in the book or in the movie have anything close to that. So I'm happy for that. Mm-hmm. But Artemis was different. We did talk just a little bit. We did try not to talk about the film too much before the camera starts rolling, or the mics for audio people. Artemis, a lot cooler in the movie, in my opinion.
Well, like the book described her, like when he first saw her, she was wearing like a suit of armor and had a badass sword and all these things.
Yeah, she had a zapper too, or something like that.
And here in the movie, you're just like, wow, big-eyed pink girl with like short hair.
With like feathery mohawk.
Yeah.
Kind of undercut thing going on. Still look cool, but not what I pictured at all. But the role that she plays in it, instead of just being a straight-up competitor, she's actually a lot more of a teammate.
Yeah.
Hell, the second clue, they do it hand in hand instead of shooting messages back and forth out of courtesy kind of thing in the book. I kind of enjoyed this version with that character. Granted, this Artemis feels like a separate character than the Artemis we got to know in the book.
Yeah.
Because she, right off the bat, was just kind of a mean bitch.
No, in the movie, she was...
Oh, no, in the book. Oh. I'm talking the book as in, like, you're just like... Damn, they like we were talking about, there's a lot of time that passes in the book, and they become besties, kind of like what Parzival and H had. He just kind of, switches out for Artemis, and they go on picnics together and stuff like that, play games, share secrets and all that. And then she kind of just whips him with it, whiplash almost, of like, oh yeah, well, all that personal time didn't mean shit to me. I'm just a competitor.
Yeah.
We got a hint of that, of her resolve to win, but it wasn't as harsh. It wasn't as less whiplash, I guess you could say, and made her more likable, which is good if you're trying to hit as much as of an audience as like this film should be getting. You want her to be likable, but I feel like the biggest difference is the role she plays in the second half. She's actually more pivotal to the battle at the end.
Oh, yeah.
She's actually the one who's the infiltrator. Whereas we know from the book, Parzival had to pull a lot of strings that had to work perfectly to get shit done. And actually, she was the one who went for the... what's the term?
Indenturement.
Indenturement. There we go. Instead of Parzival being arrested, which I was kind of hoping for that arrest scene because they had to go through, like, titanium doors and stuff to get to his ass.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to see that. But that goes hand in hand with hairless Wade Watson.
Yep. If you know the book.
He's just like hair is a waste.
Yeah, he's just like, I use a shampoo that like gets rid of all the hair.
Everything. So he could look like a...
Eyebrows too.
Looks like he just got born out of the Matrix.
Yeah.
That's how I pictured it while listening to the book.
I mean, and the purpose of that in the book was so the suit feels better, it slides in better.
Well, he has a super advanced suit, whereas this, he gets it, but he still does it in his little hideout in the van. His little hidey hole. And you see that in the trailer, and that was one thing I kind of had a problem with. I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? They're foregoing that entire apartment kind of thing. But then again, that was a very dark chapter because he did have that breakup. He didn't have H. He had nobody.
No, the book got pretty dark.
It got dark and lonely.
For a lonely nerd that just snapped to reality. And yeah,
not a true reality.
True reality.
Just the emotional reality.
Yeah, like it was pretty bad. And I'm like, again, like we said earlier, it was like, did it feel like a Spielberg movie? No. And if that was in there, it would not have felt. But
that was probably, yeah, you're probably right. That was a call maybe by Spielberg going, let's forego that altogether. Yeah. Well, I can understand for pace, yeah, that will drag it through the mud. And that's the biggest complaint people will have is the pace, the pacing. Once again, different mediums. Book, you can go buck wild with months at a time, or you could summarize. Hell, the book did do it. Summarized what he did for the last 3 months in just like a couple paragraphs, and then bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. Keep going. Oh, yeah. Whereas in the film, you can't do that. Nope. However, what I do miss from that period in the book is when he had this badass base in an asteroid, and he had a giant hangar with a shitload of ships, like the X-Wing that they weren't allowed to use. Nope. And he keeps getting like rung up by people just outside. He had a moment of celebrity lifestyle, very much, which we only see for a snippet of time. That part I thought was really cool, and I just kind of really wanted to see it, you know, in front of my eyes instead of in my head. I'm okay without it, you know. It still flowed great. The movie was great, but his celebrity life moment was kind of cool because they had fucking Goro show up. You can't be like this. You're a celebrity now. And throws him in a virtual little hidey hole. Yeah, like a closet looking thing. And then like a big bump in the chest, and then chest buster. Oh my god! He's freaking out like, what the fuck? Like he didn't see that shit before on there. Right. And then it zips away. And it's fucking Artemis like, she's more likable. Very much indeed. That's another thing I want to wrap around to, how this Artemis feels totally different from the other Artemis. She was more playful. Yeah. And that was funny, dude. and she had a bigger role instead of just a love interest girl that has to redirect Wade's moral compass to doing the right thing in the end. Oh wait, you mean break his heart? That too. He's like, man, I love you, and she's like, you don't love me. You don't even know me. She had that, but this the second challenge, we saw her actually do it, whereas in the book we just hear about it. Yeah. And then, oh Wade, here, pity hint, since you helped me, that kind of thing. Which just reinforces the bitch. Yeah. See, teamwork, Artemis, I like. Snow falls so pure. It is not its fault that it's tainted by humanity. What? I don't know. Tainted by humanity. I'm gonna use the snippet for a trailer. Are you kidding me? You were so passionate about it too. Passion. Passion flakes. Untainted by humanity. Put that shit on a t-shirt. Oh god. I think I'm gonna do it now. Yeah. It's like a cereal box. Passion flakes. Untainted by humanity. Oh, thanks for the ab workout, buddy. God. Crying inside of these glasses. I'm so sorry that we yelled in the mic for those. I lost place where this mic was when I was. Oh my god. Your hair probably hit it. I whip my hair back and forth. Anyways, Artemis great. H was fun. Like I mentioned, H was very close to how I pictured it would translate. So I'm like, I was really happy with that. And the whole twist that H was actually a woman. What? Yeah. Spoiler. Spoilers. That's why the glasses are on. Yeah. The shock happened in a better subtle way. Whereas in the book, she was like real timid about it. She didn't even want to look at him. She was nervous. Whereas this one, she's like, yeah. I know. All right, we're still homies. Move along. We got this. We gotta go. Which kind of, once again, it's a movie. It has to be go. Yes. We can't linger. Sense of urgencies. Yeah, especially that third act. You know, that's all conflict. Whereas in the book, they were nice and safe in Oregon. Yeah. I had to explain that to my mom. I was like, dude, they were no danger whatsoever. Ogden was protecting them. Yes. Og was like, you get a room. You get a room. You want to meet the girl? She says you can't meet till the end, which is another payoff in the book. Granted, I said Artemis is a bitch and she pissed me off a lot of times, but it was great payoff of he finally got to meet her at the end. The fact that he meets her at the end of the first act, in the whole second act and third act, he knows her. Different, but I guess it helps what I was complaining about, the whole believable love.
I guess so.
A little bit, you know. It was cool. Actually, a good payoff that they had was her biggest reason is her birthmark. You know, she's ashamed about it. She's
got a big old mark on her face.
Embarrassed, yeah, big old birthmark. She looks like Princess Zuko, and
Princess Zuko.
Yeah.
Except on the other side, I think. Oh, I think Prince Zuko had it on the...
I think you're right.
Yeah, on the left. Yeah. She had it on the right, which is okay because, you know...
It all works, all opposite.
Firebending accident, we gotcha.
And, man, you made me lose track. Snowflakes.
Yeah. No, like, because in the book, the whole payoff was, you know, him meeting her.
Yeah.
Because she's like, nah, I don't want to, you know, meet you and then you not like me.
Oh! I remember now.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, keep going.
Oh, I was just going to say, like... But, I mean, in the book, she was, like, apparently ugly. Like, it was, like, half her face bad. Big old birthmark. In the book, I was like, man, it's just, like, a small... It's around the eyeball. It just looks like a tattoo.
You mean the movie?
Sorry, movie. In the movie...
In the book, it was nothing. But also in the book, it was bad.
Yeah, in the movie, it was like a little mark. I was like, yeah, it's not so bad. I mean...
This actually kind of looks cool.
A little makeup on there,
but I can understand being self-conscious because growing up, kids are shit.
Not in the Oasis.
Well, you could be anyone in the Oasis. Which brings me back to what I was originally trying to say, then I got sidetracked. It was a great payoff in that battle when she goes face-to-face against the Nolan bad guy, the main antagonist.
Villain.
She actually adjusted her avatar to reflect that birthmark she had. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
She accepted both of her lives. And so did Parzival in declining the first contract after winning the Easter egg and all that. And talking about how, you know, I have to fuse my two worlds. I can't just live in this one. Which was another payoff. You know, it was something like thrown at him. It's like, you just live in this world. Well, when it came to the final fight between him and Nolan, and they're having a fist fight, he's like, yeah, but you're in my world, bitch. It's like a Freddy Krueger kind of thing.
Yeah, it really was.
Which worked off. This movie was really good at plant and payoff. Mention something, comes up again. Like when they're in the shopping market. The glove that turns you into any giant robot for a minute. The Tetris. This is stuff that eventually did come back, and it wasn't stuff that you expected. Like, hell, he didn't even walk out of that market with that giant glove, or the cataclysm.
Yeah, the cataclysm.
Cataclysm, yeah, which is a bomb that we know from the book that just erases everybody. In the movie, they said anyone on the planet, but in the book, we know it as the system. Mm-hmm. That planet's system.
The sector, actually, whatever.
Was it the whole sector? Oh, yeah. It was. Oh my god,
it was the whole thing.
It was the whole sector. That's right. It was even bigger in the book.
Yeah.
But I can understand saying the whole planet, it actually has a lot of good weight in the film. It works. It kind of rolls off better, and it's just, you don't get derailed. You're like, whoa, sector, what? What's in a sector? How much is that? It would kind of probably take you away from what's going on in the scene. But these are things that you heard about, and he didn't leave there with you expecting, oh, it's going to happen again. Like, he left with the Tetris cube. In the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, that's going to pop up somewhere. The holy hand grenade, yeah, that's going to pop up somewhere. Which they do, but plant and payoff. This was great full circle stuff. I don't know if Ernest Cline had a full hand on that kind of stuff, or if the screenwriter, I can't remember his name, but the writing credit goes to just Ernest Cline and the screenwriter guy. I don't know if he went, okay, Ernest, this is a really good thing all films should have. And then they went all out on it. Mm-hmm. Not to the point where it's obnoxious and bloated, but it just paid off truly by its name.
Yeah.
It was good. It was great.
Yeah. I could see that. I could say that.
Yeah. But that whole final fight in real world, yeah, pretty good. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that I've been going about this whole podcast going, for the form it's in, cinematically, works great.
Yeah. I could really agree with you.
If they were nice and safe in Oregon, you wouldn't feel the stakes. You wouldn't feel the immediate urgency or danger. Which, if this is the final fight, it should feel that in both forms.
Yeah.
Not just zeroing out and you have to make a new character and totally start all over again. Oh no. There are some people in the world, they won't give a damn.
Yep. No, in the movie, it really showed like the whole like the urgency was not just like, hey, you know, my character, my online persona might die. No, it's the whole, I might die in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So that helped, and I feel like it was necessary. So it worked great. Hell, the whole you move, your character moves, and whatever happens to your character can happen to you. Especially when you have that full bodysuit and you can feel stuff. That's where some of those mature jokes come in.
Oh yeah.
She like dances under his legs, and he's like, "Whoo!" Drops his fucking control stick.
Yeah.
Like that Wii controller. It's got the strap. It's just like. We had both of us. That was the moment I went, "Whoa, Spielberg!"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, you dirty old man!"
Whoa!
Oh boy!
But then there was a nut shot, and it lingered. Like it was like a good minute after he got kicked in the nuts. Yeah. It shows him again in the real world, and it's still red coming up on him and shit.
Pain.
You're just like, damn.
Oh, why would you wear the codpiece?
I wouldn't.
Nope.
But for the purpose of that joke, he did.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it looked cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Makes my junk look bigger. The reason I want to take over the world is because it got tiny penis.
Oh yeah.
They also trimmed out the entire beginning part where he was stuck on the planet for teaching. All the school planet, you know. Basically the tutorial planet in a way. He was stuck there, you know. He had the like bum rides to go dungeon diving just so he could get, you know, minimum shit.
Yeah.
Gear, coin.
A weapon of some sort.
Whereas where we're introduced to Parzival at the beginning of this film, he's already a lone wolf, kind of doing well for himself for the most part. You know, still living paycheck to paycheck in a way.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't be where he wanted to be in the race. He's like, oh man, I gotta fall behind, pick up coins on the way. I'm low on fuel.
Yeah.
The fact that fuel is a thing in there, that's some shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Game's got to make its money somehow.
Made it look cool though when he was collecting those coins. That was pretty slick shit. And people were calling that out when the trailer came out, and it showed something like that.
Yeah, it showed H killing I think who was it, Freddy Krueger, and like you just saw coins and he just turned
that was the very first trailer.
The very first trailer, he turned around and grabbed like some money. I was like, oh dang.
But they went a little further with the coins. Yeah. IROC lost his arm. And you called it out right there watching the movie. You're like, instead of blood, it's coins, because he was just spewing coins out.
Yeah.
That was actually a really interesting element that was nowhere in the book brought to life in just the film. Yeah. And I really appreciated that. That was really cool. I wish I had a bucket that was right underneath IROC's arm. Making bank off of that, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You get paid a lot. Dude, how much you want to make a bet he did kill himself after the cataclysm went off and he lost that character of his?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it cost more than an arm and a leg for that.
Oh. Oh, damn. Yeah. Oh, man. Nolan, what's the last name? Sorrento. There we go. I didn't want to fuck it up. Actually, I think he was pretty close to what I was picturing, too. They kind of had the same kind of scene where he dropped Wayne's name. Yeah. And you just had that, oh, shit part. Yeah. It was delivered too quickly in the film, in my opinion.
I feel like it might have been.
Because he did mouth off on him. They almost played line by line in a way. But in the film, it went real snappy. And then he's like, whatever, Wade, or something like that. And you're just like, oh, wait, that's that moment. Oh, shit. Whereas in the book, you feel the gravitas. You feel the weight of that delivery. Yes. Where he's mouthing off on him. He's like, you know what? I'm out of here. You just son of a bitch. Blah, blah, blah. I can't remember the exact lines. You know, he finally decided to go up that ramp he had preloaded. And he just loaded on him. And then he was about to walk out of it. And he's like, sit down, Wade. You have that moment. Reading, listening, whatever, in the book, you're like, whoa!
Yes, you actually, like, I got scared when I first was like, whoa.
Whereas in the film, you already know he knows, because IROC's new role in this is he was eavesdropping. He decided he wanted to tell Artemis his real name. It didn't have the weight. Damn. Because I think that was the first moment you said you had reacting to the book.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, when he dropped his name, I was like, oh, shit.
Dang.
He in trouble now.
Yeah.
And yeah, he lost that moment of delivery. That's just. But then again,
it's a movie. It's gotta move fast.
But then again, because they cut out the school, which was the way IOI learned his identity, and they cut out the basement chat room thing. Well, not entirely, but its original purpose. And IROC got relocated to a different role, technically. You had to figure out how that string was going to connect again. You couldn't just have them, the all-knowing, super powerful corporation, like, oh, we have people. That's a cop-out.
It kind of is.
They had that reinforcement and that way that it explained itself to you, but the fact that it showed you before lost its opportunity for a great moment. That even in film, you would have been like, oh, shit, if it was delivered the way we saw it or read it. You know what I mean? I guess that's another gripe.
It is.
But then again, it's not entirely a gripe because, like I said, they reinforced their explanation because they took out a huge chunk of the book. And that had a lot of things that later on in the story they had to pull from there. They shuffled their cards. They shuffled them right. I can't fault them for that. Hell, maybe we're the only ones who had that moment from the book.
Yeah.
Everybody else would be like, so? I don't care about he knew Wade. It was going to happen. Maybe it was the way Will Wheaton delivered it in Audible. I don't know. Shit. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Will Wheaton's not in the movie. I'm upset about that. He should have been in the damn movie. He was even mentioned in the book. That was so meta. Will Wheaton talking about himself in the audiobook. Now I want a physical copy of the book just to see if it really is in there or if he threw himself in there.
Oh.
You son of a bitch. Nah. The movie's still good. The movie's great.
Yes.
This is a lot of back and forth about what we know from the book and coming to the film. But I guess in a way this has helped arguing against those people who are like, I don't like it because it's not true to the book. That kind of shit. I love the movie. I will say I love it.
I enjoyed the movie.
The moment it comes out, I'm buying that Blu-ray, bro.
Oh, yeah.
4K even.
Yeah, I don't know. I was telling you earlier when we left the theater, I was just like, I've always, like, you know, every now and then I'd go on the internet and a little thing would pop up, you know, recommended kind of like, you know, like articles to read. And anything that was like Ready Player One based, you know, I was like, I'm curious.
You're about to watch it.
I'm going to watch that movie here in the next month when it comes out. I'll look at it. Well, a lot of like reviews and everything. Pre-screens and stuff. A lot of them were actually negative. Like I was kind of surprised. I was like, why is everyone giving this, you know?
Did you read any of them?
You know, I read most of them, and actually, honestly, I felt like this is probably the first good review I've heard.
Us?
The one that we're giving. Because and they're all the same. They're all very similar. They're all just like.
What are they complaining about?
Well, pretty much it's like, you know, Spielberg's gonna flop on this movie because there's too many things going on. It's a world that nobody understands. Too much gamer jargon.
Gamers would love this.
Yeah.
Like we said in the spoiler-free moment, there is some great dialogue and moments that brings the gamers even closer into it. You feel, and when you spot these other references like Tracer and the Spartans and stuff like that, Chocobos and all that, you have a little moment of like glee.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I actually, me knowing most of this stuff, I just sit back like, this is for me. This is my movie.
It's enjoyable, and I'm just like,
and I'm not one of a kind.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm like, well, you know, it's not for everyone. Unfortunately, I can't really say this. It's not for everyone.
It's not Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's not one of those where like, oh, hey, you can pick it up. No, it's too many references. And one of the things that most critics were criticizing was there's too many references. You know, people even like not even the movie, they were just talking bad about the book itself, saying like, oh, it's a simple story with too many name drops. That's all it is, a glorified name dropping simple story.
That's the entire premise, though.
Yeah,
and this is a world you can do anything, and if you gave us the people the same tool of hell, actually they already have that VR chat. Have you seen videos of VR chat?
Video chat.
No, VR chat.
Oh, VR chat.
Virtual reality chat room. Have you seen videos of that shit?
I've not really.
You can choose your avatar.
Okay.
So you can walk around as a butt-ass naked Link from Zelda. Because people have been modding it too.
Oh.
And it's just a chat room. You just show up and talk to people. You can be whatever the hell you want. We're already having that. If you give people this blank canvas, this do whatever you want kind of thing, yeah, you'll have a great deal of people going, oh, I have original content. I'm a writer. You know, everybody in the world is a goddamn writer nowadays. I say that with such venom.
I know, right?
Because everybody wants me to read them. They're like, David, you're a great storyteller. Please read my stuff. I'm like, I don't read other people's work. Like, people I know, I don't read it. But what is the biggest thing that people are going to take as assets into this tool I'm mentioning? Stuff they love. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a lot of Star Wars, a lot of video game stuff, especially if the thing is a video game. You'd be like, yo, I want to play Minecraft, but I want to be a giant dragon. I want to go wreck up these castles people keep making.
Yeah.
That's the only thing people can make on Minecraft. It's castles.
Giant castles.
Giant castles. I want to wreck them. That's human nature, man. VR chat. After this podcast, I'm showing you a video of VR chat where this guy is a mouse in a little tank with Russian flags, and he's mouthing off to everybody in Russian, and then he drives away with the Russian anthem going.
Wow.
It's so fucking funny. Google that. I totally recommend it.
I don't recommend it. I don't even...
It's... VR chat's funny.
Oh, boy.
There's some stories.
There's a dark rabbit hole we're about to venture, I guess.
How much time do we go into this? We're at 1 hour and 2 minutes, according to the audio recording, and we actually had the audio rolling while we bullshitted for a while before. So we're close to the end of... Okay, so let's kind of step into the final thoughts. I've already admitted I loved it, even though I can be a tremendous critic when it comes to the translation. But I think I defended it on both sides.
Yeah.
In a way, like, I helped defend why these changes had to be made, and coming from the fan and accepting these changes. Come on, people. Don't hate everything. Learn to love. Like Parsifal, learn to love in 4 days.
Oh, boy.
Gosh. What do you got to add to this final thoughts kind of thing?
Final thoughts? I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to watch that movie again.
Yeah, I'm totally going again.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I'm categorizing this movie in the whole genre of, you know, like, video games turned to movies where too many people are just going to argue it. They're going to complain about it. They don't understand it. Or it's not like what I'm used to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to... Personally, I feel like this movie was really good, but I feel like everyone else isn't really going to get it. It might not be for everyone else. Who knows, you know?
If you didn't read the book before, how would you have taken this movie?
I'd probably still feel the same things. The whole, you know, oh, well, I don't like the pacing. It's a little too quick. And, you know, I'd probably just still say, like, man, there's a lot of references. Too many references to where I need to watch this movie again to see them all. Yeah,
once again, that's the setting.
It's the setting, inevitable. Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, if I didn't know the book beforehand, I probably wouldn't like it as much or enjoy it as much. But I'd still like it. I'd be like, yeah, no, that's cool.
Oh, it's based off a book. Maybe I should check out the book.
Yeah.
You would have had that moment, maybe.
I'd probably, it'd be one of those moments as opposed to, you know, to the other way around. But all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, it's, like you said, it's going to be one of those, like, I'm going to buy it in Blu-ray when it comes out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. But,
ooh, I hope the commentary is by Spielberg. Oh, it better be. And what if it's Ernest Cline and Spielberg?
That'd be interesting.
Please make this happen.
No, it just will be.
What?
Nah, I'm kidding.
Please make it happen. That would be... Oh, man, I would sit through that intently, listening to everything. Because maybe some of the stuff that we speculated about, you know, why they had to make choices like they did, maybe we were right. I want that moment of, victory, I guess you can say. Because I've been trying to put my mindset as the filmmaker. I don't sometimes feel like a filmmaker, but apparently, according to some of my close friends, I should be calling myself a filmmaker 24/7. Whatever. Steve Bentley says that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that man, but it's hard. It's hard for me to go to that level. I'm a storyteller. I can just say that.
Yeah,
that's what I am. And an awkward online personality. Yeah,
I can say that.
Like right now. Oh yeah.
Awkward.
AF. Yes. Shit. All right, that's our review of Ready Player One, directed by Steven Spielberg, translated from the book by Ernest Cline. Damn.
Yeah.
I can see both sides of all this, and I kind of agree with you. I think people are just going to have this weird blind crusade of bitching.
Yeah, of just bitterness. You know,
either coming from the I didn't read the book, I just didn't enjoy the movie, it had too much going on, or the people who are very hardcore about the book. I will admit, the book became my favorite book of all time from the first 2 chapters. Because it really did spoke directly to me. It was just Wade's perception of the human condition and how he accepts it. Beyond that, I was already sold. I was just like, beyond that was extra. That right there is just like, dude, this is how I think and feel about the world. Holy shit. So that's why actually one of the reasons why I want to read some more of Ernest Cline's work. Like, was it Armada? Mm-hmm. Is the other one on Audible? I'm going to listen. That's Will Wheaton, too. I'm going to get that. I just got my credit, too.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Audible. Which might be a future sponsor. We don't know, but go check it out anyway.
Looking into it.
Use coupon code whatever, because we don't have one yet. Or hyperlink. And damn good movie. Mm-hmm. Damn good book. Please check out the book, too. Please be understanding. All right, I hope that the best thing that could come out of this review and this podcast episode is that people can actually open their mind and understand.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe I shine some light on some stuff and they're like, oh, I guess you are right. Mm-hmm. I did read the book. I saw the movie. Shit makes sense now. Especially, I hope that's my goal.
Yeah.
I hope that happens.
But I mean, in all reality, though, I mean, if you're watching this podcast on YouTube, then you're gonna know it's on Nerd Underground TV. And, well, what else are you going to be if you're seeing the name of the channel called Nerd Underground?
That's true.
If you're like, oh, well, I'm a nerd, then, yeah, you're going to love these nerdy references. You're going to love all the nerd jokes and...
But, JonKuh, what if this is their first podcast of ours that they saw?
Oh, go watch the other ones. And then, by that time, you should be nerded up. Because you'll know what's trending on nerds.
That's the point of this podcast for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Last 2 weeks have been a little rough. Last week didn't have a lot going on for the nerd world. No. It was a boring week. It was a weird week.
Pretty much.
And this week, maybe some shit went down, but I knew we were going to talk a shit ton about in Ready Player One. So that's all I geared us up to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't even have an extra person to play Trend Darts.
Nope.
No Trend Darts this week either.
Yeah, this is a review-only podcast, I guess. So,
yeah. I mean, we were talking about doing a... Oh, we can take these off now.
Oh, wow.
Glasses are off!
Oh, my God, it's so much brighter. Ah.
It is, oh my gosh. They actually say don't wear these that often.
Oh, really?
They're bad for your eyes.
Oh, my gosh. We'll just pop out the holes next time.
They will look like weird hipsters.
Yep. All right, then.
Anyway, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, Nerd Underground TV, that's us.
Oh, yeah. Check us out.
Got some nerdy stuff here. Yeah, we were talking about doing an actual review video, but we have actually been pretty good about keeping up to weekly releases of podcasts and keep rolling with that, so I just fused the two. I said, screw it.
Yeah, sure.
It's my show. I'll do what I want. But if you do enjoy just some David and JonKuh, that might be a separate podcast altogether.
Who knows? Let us know.
I'll be down for that. Or just a show. And we're in the talks of some shows and some projects, so
yeah,
we're actually going to talk more about it when this ends. So
yeah.
So get ready for some exciting stuff. Subscribe if you want to check out that stuff. And if you like leaving comments, leave a comment or a question or whatever. Because
or your
we actually,
opinions,
your
Let
opinion.
Us know.
We reply to all that, so we're not going to be that generic guys like, hey, like, share, and subscribe and comment below. No, honestly, talk to us because we'll talk right back. And one of our other members, Moose, he's got his profile. He's always talking in the comments. He's Free Candy, by the way. So if anybody with the name of Free Candy calls you out on your shit, call him out on it because that's Moose.
Yep. All right.
And yeah, we're just chugging along. Podcast every week. You can expect that. But we're going to do some gameplays, some other shows.
Yep.
Fun stuff. Because we get bored and we just want to keep doing stuff.
Well, looking forward to it.
Once again, thank you for tuning in to the Nerd Underground Podcast. And next week, everything will kind of go back to normal, I guess, with news and trending and talking. Mm-hmm. Actually, JonKuh, next week's podcast is... We're going to be recording on a Tuesday. And I just kind of want to say it right now. This is actually the first time I'm telling Jonathan, too. I want to do it live.
All right.
Live as we're recording it. So there'll be basically two methods going on at the same time, is normal, like YouTube and Podbean release will happen on Fridays like usual. Mm-hmm. But if you actually follow Nerd Underground TV on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Nerd Underground, and like there, that's where you'll see the live video. Oh, next Tuesday. Yeah, well, I'm going to turn that on and live stream right there from the Nerd Underground official Facebook page. And we are on Twitter. You can find us at nu.tv, which is actually NUDOT-TV. No, not an actual dot. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just a clever way of making that. We're on Instagram now, too.
All right.
Oh, yeah, we're on Instagram. You can follow that. We announce all the episodes and shenanigans on there as well. You can find us Nerd Underground TV. Basically, you can find us anywhere, mostly. We're actually just started up, there we go, a Discord as well.
All right.
We got a server on Discord, and the link will be shared with this video, as well as when this video on Friday gets shared on our Facebook page as well, and of course on our Twitter automatically. The Discord link will be there if you want to join our Discord and chat with us and comments and stuff like that. And eventually, when enough of that starts flowing in from all these other sources, we'll have another segment to our podcast about questions. A Q&A segment.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I want that. So reinforcing the whole comment below. Actually do. Like, if you have a question or some kind of opinion or something like that you want to share with us and want us to talk about in, like, the future podcasts, hopefully as soon as next week's. Oh, shit. Hit the mic. Right down there, first and foremost. Or if you want to do it on Facebook, Twitter, yada, yada, yada. There's so many different ways. Whatever your preferred method is, we're there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Go for it. And we got merchandise. But we're actually going to have our merchandise soon for a photo shoot. So you can see it in all its sexy gloriness. Besides that, JonKuh, that's everything.
That is everything.
That's everything. Oh. I just plugged in all our social medias,
yep.
Which I have not been doing before.
Nope.
Not one bit. You can follow me on Twitter, David Foruria. He's not on anything. He's on Nerd Underground TV, a YouTube channel. Go check it out. That's where you can find JonKuh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's everything, man. That's all the plugs. That's our final thoughts. That's we're at the grid amount of time of a podcast. Mm-hmm. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a good weekend when this comes out. Go watch Ready Player One. It tells what you know or what you thought. Boom. Love ya.
Adios.
Bye.